Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ntima Nonsikelelo, and today I will be presenting on looking at writing as a process rather than a product. I will also share a CAPS-related background to process writing practices. But before we go there, we have to look at what is process writing and writing as a whole. Writing is a complex activity as it requires higher order skills. It also forces learners to be critical and analytical as they need to organize their thoughts in a logical way. With a process approach to writing, learners have the chance to think about what they are going to write, produce drafts, revise, edit, give, and receive feedback on their work. A process approach to writing contrasts with a product approach, where the main idea is to reproduce a model text as a final draft without developing writing skills. So now, moving on to process writing according to CAPS. The curriculum and assessment policy statement, which is known as CAPS in South Africa, emphasizes the importance of teaching writing as a process. CAPS recognizes that writing is a complete skill that involves more than just producing a final product. It acknowledges that the writing process consists of multiple stages that require thoughtful planning and revision. That is pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. By teaching writing as a process, educators can help students develop their writing skills more effectively and meet the language learning objectives outlined in CAPS. Firstly, we are going to start with the first stages of the 5 stages of process writing. That is pre-writing. So in pre-writing, this stage involves generating ideas and planning the structure of the writing. This is literally like brainstorming ideas. For instance, students might brainstorm ideas for a descriptive essay about their favorite place. So they can brainstorm by actually asking questions or actually writing their ideas down. There are many ways of brainstorming, and there are many ways where people can actually try to gain, remember, and revise knowledge. The second stage of the process writing stages is drafting. In this stage, students compose their first draft using ideas and plan from pre-writing stages. For an example, writing a rough draft of the introductory paragraph for the descriptive essay. The third stage of the 5 stages of the writing process is revising. In revising, revision includes improving the clarity, coherence, and organization of the text. After all, we want students to see if their essays are grammatically correct and if their paragraphs are corresponding with the paragraphs above and beneath. They should look at how their introduction relates with their conclusion. So they have to revise. For an example, Students might revise by adding sensory details to enhance descriptive essay. And then our fourth stage of the five processes of process writing is editing. As you can see on my right hand side, we are given the 4 editing stages. That is structural story editing, line editing, copy editing, and proofreading. So what happens in editing? During editing, students focus on correcting grammar, punctuation, and spelling errors. So after the first draft, the teacher gives students feedback. And when they do their second draft, the students are able to see grammatical errors like punctuation, spelling, and they have to correct them. For an example, proofreading the essay for spelling mistakes. And finally, the last stage of the 5 writing processes, of the 5 stages of the writing process, that is publishing. What happens in publishing? This is the final stage. It involves producing a polished and presentable piece of writing. Now, this is when students have written their first draft, they've written their second draft, and now they are submitting their final draft for feedback from the teacher. Students may type their essay, create a cover page, and format it neatly because now they are waiting for a proper and constructive feedback from their educator, and which might be given marks as well. Now that we have looked at the 5 stages of process writing, we are going to look at the differences between essay and transactional writing requirements. Firstly, essay writings. Essays are typically longer pieces of writing that explore a specific topic or idea in depth. That is usually an opposite for transactional writing. Transactional writing is functional and is used for specific purposes. Essays contain thesis statements, supporting evidence, and a conclusion. For an example, a persuasive essay arguing or against school uniforms. Transactional writing focuses on clear communication and achieving a particular goal. For an example, include a friendly letters, emails, reports, and formal letters. Now that we have looked at the differences between essay and transactional writing requirements, we are going to look at implementing process writing for descriptive essay and friendly letter. We are going to start with a descriptive essay. The descriptive essay has all the 5 stages of process writing. That is, pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. In the first stage, writing is basically um, is basically like brainstorming descriptive words and phrases for a chosen place. And then you write the first draft, focusing on introducing the place, and then add sensory details, organize paragraphs, and refine descriptive language. In editing, you correct spelling and grammar errors, and finally create a neat and well-formed final draft. In a friendly letter, it also includes all the 5 stages of process writing. In the pre-writing stage, you first identify the purpose and the recipient of the letter. Number 2, you write the first draft, including a greeting, body, and a closing. Ensure the content is clear and consider the tone. Check for errors in grammar and punctuation. We must note this. Even though it is a friendly letter, it is important to check the grammar and punctuation and check if the content is clear and the tone is clear. And lastly, format the letter and include any necessary enclosures. Now that we have looked at the differences between essay and transactional writing requirements, implementing process writing for descriptive essay and friendly letter, we are going to be looking at the 4 benefits of teaching writing as a process. Those are improved writing skills, critical thinking, increased confidence, and transferable skills. Improved writing skills. Students develop stronger writing skills through planning, drafting, and revising. In critical thinking, process writing encourages students to think critically about their ideas and how to express them effectively. 3. Increased confidence. Students gain confidence in their writing abilities as they see improvement over time. Number 4, transferable skills. Process writing skills can be applied to various writing tasks, both academic and real life. Now, let us look at the challenges of implementing a process approach. I will also name 4. Number 1, it's time constraints, student resistance, assessment difficulties, and balancing content. On time constraints, teachers may feel pressured to cover curriculum content quickly, leaving less time for the writing process. On student resistance, some students may resist the idea of multiple drafts and revisions, preferring quick solutions. On assessment difficulties, grading multiple drafts can be time-consuming, and assessing the writing process can be subjective. On balancing content and process, striking a balance between teaching and writing skills and covering content can also be challenging. Today, we have looked at the in-depth of teaching writing as a process, and we have looked at the benefits of teaching writing as a process and the challenges of implementing a process approach. Now, it will be up to an individual whether they use process writing in their classrooms. The last 4 slides contain the 3 questions from my audience. And then the 4th slides contains the references that I have used in compiling the whole presentation. So we have question 1, which reads as follows. How can I encourage students to embrace the revision and editing stage when they just want to submit their work quickly? Question 2. What strategies can I use to integrate process writing into a busy curriculum with limited time for writing activities? And question 3, how can I assess the writing processes effectively and fairly? On my right hand side, I have put all the responses for these questions. These are the references of the whole presentation. Thank you all for your time.